I'm always doing things, especially in my everyday life, because I feel like when you do stuff that's quote unquote weird or taboo, it pulls people out of the grind that everyone is just on this like walk through life, not stopping to actually see like, oh my God, I'm alive, or this is happening, or I feel like moving right now. I feel like doing this right now. It kind of like snaps them out of it. And I think that just gives them an opportunity to be like, hey, don't forget you're alive and you're on this
Yeah.
planet.
What's a taboo that you enjoy breaking?
Oh, that's such a good question. Wait, are we talking about just in everyday life?
Yeah, in anyday life, or it can be with festivals, or like whatever stands out to you.
Being seen. I feel like there's so much shame around being perceived or being noticed, and I seek out those opportunities. Even if I'm in the grocery store, I'll look around and I'm like, everyone is just being normal. This is kind of weird. And and I'm like, I don't, I, and how I view it is I think the more taboo you are with different things,
Hmm.
the more it gives other people permission, I feel like, to be whatever they see as weird.
Hmm.
So I keep a vintage clown in my car, this little like pull string clown. And when you pull the string, it's so old that it goes like, it sounds possessed. I put it in my car because I enjoy driving around and I'll like be at a red light and I like have this clown come out and I'll have it like dance or do these weird silly things. I'm always doing things, especially in my everyday life, because I feel like when you do stuff that's quote unquote weird or taboo, it pulls people out of the grind that everyone is just on this like walk through life, not stopping to actually see like, oh my God, I'm alive, or this is happening, or I feel like moving right now. I feel like doing this right now. It kind of like snaps them out of it. And I think that just gives them an opportunity to be like, hey, don't forget you're alive and you're in on this
Yeah.
planet. That's yeah.
Yeah, that's lovely. I mean, what a gift to you live as a gift in that way, right? Where it's like to your point, if you're living loudly, if you're living the weirdness or the expression of who you are through your clothing or through how you're moving, right? You're giving just like those little ounces of permission to other people around you. For you, how did you cultivate that level of, I want to say, self trust to be able to do that? Because that can be really hard for a lot of people if you're not in an environment that is actively supportive in that way. Like, how do you like re-nurture yourself to keep that fire alive and going? Like, what is it that keeps it alive in you?
I always think it comes back to like the inner child in me, thinking about what I like to do as a kid. And I always say if we tap into that inner child, we're going to be much more in tune with that form of expression within ourselves. So it's finding opportunities to play and be that is what grants me that permission. And I think of it too, you had said like I feel like it's me giving a gift to others, but how that kind of backfired recently, kind of an overlap of like taboo weird things and
Mm.
festivals. I took an old briefcase and I filled it with treasure. I had like fake gold coins and necklaces and I had a bunch of like festival trinkets like little sprouts and things. And I'm like, I'm going to go out in public with this briefcase. And my friend and I went out to dinner and I went up to the waitress and I was like, guess what's in my briefcase? And how awkward it is in general, like having someone approach you with a briefcase. And I was like, it's treasure. And I opened it up to all this treasure. So I did this and I was like, it's treasure. And my intention doing this was to go out to, again, do something often weird, offer someone a little treasure, and maybe give them joy. I'm like, I just want to give. I just want to give. No
Hmm.
intention of receiving. So when I went out and did this night, I went up to the bartender and I did it to him and he accepted this little like finger puppet thing. And
Hmm.
then he comes around and he goes, I've never really been to festivals, but I'm pretty sure I heard that when someone gives you a gift or a trinket, you're supposed to give one in return. So he gave
Mm.
me the top to like an alcohol bottle with a racehorse on it. It's a thing. I don't know what it is, but
Okay.
apparently they're all. And I was just like, oh my gosh, he gave me something back. That was beautiful.
Mm.
And then there was someone playing out that night. Another gentleman came up and he's like, what are you doing with a suitcase? I was like, oh, I'm giving out treasures. Would you like a treasure? And he was like, no, but I'll give one. And he took a guitar pick and he threw it in the suitcase.
Oh
And
my gosh, that's amazing.
it was this beautiful moment of like, my friend and I looked at each other and she's like, you came in this with the intent of giving. and yet
Mm,
everyone is giving back to you. She's like, that's very telling
mm,
of what your intention was in this. You're trying to give, but like at the same time, people are trying to give to you. So it's this practice of like, yes, giving, but also learning to receive. It was
yeah.
such a beautiful moment.
Mm. What have you been learning regarding receiving lately? What has been like something that you've been working on in that regard?
To receive and just receive as receiving without feeling the need to return that, if that makes sense. Because I think I
Hmm.
used to feel so guilty in receiving in the past, where if someone gave me something, I'd be like, oh, well, then I'm not good enough or I'm lacking. And again, I think that's what builds community. I feel like we're in a very individualistic society where it's very much like I'm supposed to figure all my shit out. I need to figure out how to pay my bills. I need to figure out how to fix something in my house. Like I
Mm,
need everything to do everything for myself and so does everyone else. Whereas if we all just kind of learn to receive more, there's so many other ways that we could be helping that build community and then like reduce waste. There's just so many benefits that come to that. So I think that's been the biggest thing for me in terms of learning to receive is that it helps community, it helps others, and then it helps me to be able to give in ways that I'm able to give them as well.
yeah, no, I feel that a lot. This last, I think it's been about a year now that I gave up my car and just have an e-bike that I used to get around the city, and simply just asking for rides a lot more, right? Because I could still just Uber and it would cost me more money
Mhm.
or whatever. But a lot of times it's like, oh, can I get a ride? Just that simple fact, and the fact that like almost everybody has their own car means that you're not sharing a ride with somebody, which means that like that
Mhm.
commute, you're not spending time to then build that relationship. And been able to build so many friendships because I've had to be the guy that needs a ride, right? And also the feeling of what it's like for people just showing up to take you to the airport without any incentive. Like my friend was talking about this with one of the challenges to your point with capitalism is like we have this benefit of Uber. It's like so we don't have to ask our friends anymore. But because of that, we don't, invite our friend over as a thank you gift for dinner like later on in the weekend. And then we don't spend that time with them either. Right? It becomes this kind of circle of reciprocity ends up falling apart because we have an easier avenue if we just spend a couple bucks on it versus like, hey, can you do this for me? I've got you for dinner. Now we're building a deeper connection. We're growing together. We're learning about each other more. And we're building this community. But it's almost that like capitalism has almost made life too easy in a sense, where it's like it's
Really.
so easy that we have to go out of our way to connect. And I think there's other challenges with that too. With I think there's a greater decrease in the amount of alcohol people drink. So bars are not as popular as they used to be. So if you're somebody who doesn't really drink, well, it's like where do I go and meet new people because I don't want to go out to a bar. I don't want to go out to do these things, but like there's not really where else do you just go to just hang out and meet someone, right? There's not a lot of these, third spaces that necessarily
Spaces.
exist to, yeah, chat and connect in the same way.
I agree. I think, and I'm always trying to figure out where those spaces are. I do a lot of different things. I'm involved
Mm,
in there's so many different activities. And I think that was my attempt to like get back into the world and figuring out like who am I? Where do I want to go? What do I want to do? And hanging out in bars was not my preference. I'm like, I don't want to
mm-hmm,
sit around and drink. And the energy was just it was not what I was looking for. So that's what I got involved in poker. I'm like, oh, there's a
mm,
poker league. And then I got involved in hiking and you could do meetup groups. And then I did like ecstatic dance and showing up to these classes where you can do that's free movement and dance and things like that. So there's all these different places. But one thing I noticed is I think people are really afraid to step into those spaces because I don't know if it's the unknown or what that is, but and again, I think that's what has me sharing a lot of what I do on social media because I kind of want to be like, I can do it. You can do it. It's not just about me showing what I'm doing. All behind all of that intent is I want everyone to do whatever it is that they want to do and pursue what they're interested in, even if it's a little scary because it's going to be
mm-hmm.
scary.
Yeah,